Welcome to Guide to IELTS. Let's work on solving this IELTS reading general training passage from Cambridge IELTS Book 16. Sections 1 and 2 in Reading General have two passages each, and each of the passage just has one question type. The recommended way of working on these passages is to not read the passage first or even skim through it. Read the heading of the passage and depending on the question type, start looking for the answers. I mentioned depending on the question type because certain question types have answers in sequence. That is, wherever we find the first answer in the passage, the second is usually after that and the third after that and so on. In some other question types, the approach needs to be different. In this one, we have true, false, not given. The answers to true, false, not given are usually in sequence. That is to say, wherever I find answer to the seventh, the eighth would be after that and so on. So what I'll do is just read the heading of the passage. In this case, it's almost time for the next Ripton festival. The R in uppercase tells me that it is a proper noun. It's name of a festival. I don't need to worry about knowing the meaning of this word. Next, what I do is read one question at a time, identify the key information in there. Based on that, locate where the answer is expected to be in the passage and then read a couple of sentences there to figure out the answer. A lot of people struggle with true, false, not given. The reason for that is that usually it is easy to locate where the answer is. If by chance I'm not able to find where the answer to seventh is, for example, I can just skip it, start looking for the eighth one, and I can be almost sure that the seventh answer would be before eighth. So that narrows down our search area a lot. The issue that one faces is with identifying what is true and what is false and what is not given. A statement is true only if every single part of that statement is true. If any part of the statement is false, it would be a false statement, and if any part of the statement is not given, it would be a not given statement. And that is the part that we need to understand. The way I see it, the only valid reason why one would get any of these answers wrong is if you come across words which you don't understand. Obviously, that may happen. Even then, try to understand the word from context. However, I have seen people getting true, false, not given wrong just because they don't read the question carefully, because they don't read the information in the passage carefully. You miss out on little words like all or only and are not able to understand what exactly the question is saying. Let's start working on these questions now. The seventh question says, the festival is held every year. So the information I'm looking for is how often is the festival held and is it every year? Let's start going through the passage now. As usual, the festival will be held in the last weekend of June, this year on Saturday, and ever since last year's festival. So this could be tricky because the reason this answer is true is this as usual. So as usual means every year it happens in last weekend of June. We have started with the tricky one for sure, but let's go on. This year's festival focuses on the town's history. There are two keywords I have here, focus and history. What is the focus of the festival and is it the town's history? Let's start. Ever since last year's festival, committee has been hard at work. The theme, so I'm assuming the theme would be the focus, is Ripton through the ages. Scenes will be acted showing how the town has developed since it was first established. So I know Ripton is name of the place that I could have assumed from the fact that it is called Ripton Festival, but also in the next sentence it says how the town has developed. So the town is Ripton and through the ages means throughout history, over maybe hundreds of years even. So although the answer is from this part itself, it is then explained in the next sentence from scenes to established. So understanding of the fact that theme refers to focus is important here. The history part is explained in two sentences. So answer to the eighth one is again true. I do, however, want to point out this next sentence. But there's also plenty that's up to date from latest music to local crafts. So there'll be all of this in the festival as well. But that is additional stuff. This will also be there. And as I glance at the rest of the passage, I see craft fair and barbecue and musicians. So there'll be a lot of all this stuff, but the theme or the focus is town's history. Ninth one now. Goods displayed in the craft fair are unlike ones found in shops. So goods are the items or the things that are there in the craft fair. Craft fair, I've already seen, is mentioned as it is. There is no synonym to that one used here. Unlike is not similar to anything else. Very different, very unique. So the information I'm looking for is what is displayed or what is sold at the craft fair, and is it different from what is sold at the shops? Let's start. Craft fair is a regular part of festival, professional artists, designers, women. So I'm skipping some information because I know I'm looking for what is sold, not who is selling it or who has designed the things, etc. So they'll display jewelry, paintings. Now these are the goods that are displayed. What information do we have about these goods? They'll also take orders. So they here are the artists and designers, etc., who will take orders. So if you want one of them to make something specially for you, just ask. You'll get it within a month of the festival ending. So what this says is that if you want something special, it will be made for you. But does it say anywhere that what is displayed is different, or what is displayed is something you would never find at a shop? There is no such information given at all. So there are goods displayed at craft fair. Some special goods can be made for you. But this part, unlike ones found in the shops, is not given. Because of this part of the sentence, the answer is not given. The first part of the sentence is correct, that there are some goods that are displayed in the craft fair. The 10th one now. The barbecue will be cancelled if it rains. So we are looking for the barbecue, and then what happens if it rains? So observe the fact that all the answers are in sequence. It is one after the other. If I had been unsure about the 9th one, I could have skipped it. I could have started looking for information about the barbecue, and I would have known that the 9th one would be between 8th and 10th. Anyway, so we have found the barbecue. Let's see if there is any mention of rain or any synonym of rain. It could say something like if it pours or in case of rainfall. I found rain here. So here's barbecue, here's rain. Let's see what it says. The barbecue will start at 2 p.m., continue till 10 p.m. There is something for kids. The barbecue will be held at some field or in the town hall if there's rain. So if there is rain, what will happen is that the venue will shift. If there is no rain, this is where the barbecue will be. If there is rain, the barbecue will be at the town hall. But it will certainly not be cancelled. So will the barbecue be cancelled if it rains? No. The answer is false. And this is where the answer was found. 11th one now. Adults can attend the barbecue at any time without charge. So we are looking for adults attending the barbecue or any mention of age, that people from this age to this age can attend at whatever time. At any time and without charge. Is there a charge for adults or not? Is it free or complimentary, or is it paid? Let's see. So book your tickets now, as they always sell out very quickly. Entry for under 16s is free all day. So for those below 16, it is free all day. All day means anytime. Free is without charge, but that is only for people who are under 16. Adults can come for free until 6 p.m. and pay £5 after that. So adults can attend the barbecue without charge till 6 p.m. After that, no. So at any time, because of this, it is false. 12th one now. Amateur musicians will perform during the whole of the barbecue. So the first thing we look for is any music performance, musicians, and then whether those musicians will be amateurs or professionals. Amateur is someone who participates in something or who does something usually without payment, but certainly not on a professional basis. So anyone who's not a professional is an amateur. A person could be an amateur sports person, someone who plays any sport for fun but not professionally, an amateur photographer, and in this case we are talking about an amateur musician. So what I'm looking for is any mention of musician or amateur musicians, and after that when they are going to perform. So it's starting right after where I found the answer to the 10th one. There'll be live music throughout. Throughout means during the whole of the barbecue. there will be live music throughout the barbecue, with local amateur bands in the afternoon and professional musicians in the evening. So there will be music throughout the time during the whole of the barbecue, but amateur musicians will not be performing throughout. They will only be performing in the afternoon. So if you just read local amateur bands here and music throughout, you may write it as true. But if you read this whole sentence, what it says is that half of the time the amateur bands will be playing and the other half professional bands will be playing. So because of this, during the whole of the barbecue part, this is again false. The next one now, the 13th one. Seating is available for watching the boat races. So I'm looking for a mention of boat races. I'm almost sure I'd find boat races as it is. Means what synonym of boats can they use? And once I find boat races, I have to figure out whether seating will be available or not. I've found boat races here, so I'll start reading. We are delighted to introduce an afternoon of boat races arranged by someone. Wherever there are names, I make it a point not to read them. They are very distracting because they don't really have any information. They are not part of our question. The spectator area by the bridge has plenty of room to stand and cheer the boats home. It says there is a lot of space to stand, nothing about sitting till here, in addition to a number of benches. So there are some benches and there's a lot of place to stand. But is seating available? Yes, it is. So both seating and standing areas are available. So if this question had been only seating is available, then it would have been false because both seating and standing is available. This is where you could get it wrong. In any case, because there is no such mention of only or any such word, it just asks, is seating available? Yes, it is. It is available along with standing, but that is not part of our question. Let's start with the 14th one now. People attending the festival will be asked to donate some money. So we're talking about any kind of donation or charity during the event. So this says something about trophies and everything. And then the last sentence is about money raised. So let's see. All money raised by the festival will go to support the sports club in Ripton. So whatever money will be raised in the festival will be used for whatever purpose. But is there any mention of how this money will be raised? Any mention of people being asked to give money or to donate money for any purpose? No, there is not. This is clearly not given. And that is the end of our true, false, not given questions. A few things of note here. It wouldn't have made a difference if we had gone through the passage beforehand. It worked equally well that we just started looking for one answer at a time. Knowing that the answers to true, false, not given are expected to be in sequence helps us find these answers. Wherever the answer was false or not given, it was usually because part of the sentence was false or not given. The other part was given and was true. This is the reason why a lot of people get false and not given answers wrong. We have two not given here. One is the 9th one and the other is the 14th one. 14th was not mentioned at all. In case of the 9th one, the first half is mentioned, the second half is not mentioned. We have three false answers here. If we talk about the 10th one, in the passage it says barbecue will be moved to another venue if it rains. There is no mention of the word cancellation, but it is obvious that it will not be cancelled. In the 11th one, for part of the day, adults are allowed to attend without charge. But because of this phrase, at any time, it is false. And in the 12th one, amateur musicians performing is true. The fact that music will be performed during the whole of barbecue is true, but amateur musicians performing throughout the day is false. Besides this, there were just a couple of comparatively difficult words which could have made it difficult for you to find the answer. The word focus in the 8th question, and when looking for the answer, the word is theme. The word goods in the 9th question, and just a mention of jewelry, painting, ceramics, and much more in the passage. So we have to understand that those are the goods being talked about. The word amateur is here, but what you need to observe is that even if you didn't know the meaning of the word, if you just knew that when we say amateur bands, we are referring to amateur musicians, you would still have found the answer. According to me, the trickiest of the lot is the 7th one, where just this phrase, as usual, the very first phrase of the passage gives us the answer. Hope this helped you. Do like and share this video and give your feedback in the comments. And finally, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the very best to you.